Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here on Thursday, April 13th, second show of the day. We've got more prospect information about visits for the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys coming to visit the team. Derick Hall, according to Josh Norris of Underdog, is visiting with the Jaguars. He's now the 1 millionth edge rusher that the Jaguars have shown interest in this cycle. No, but all jokes aside, the Jags, they are clearly vetting this edge class. They've talked about it. They want to upgrade their pass rush. Doug Peterson talked about it at the owners' meetings. That's one of the biggest points of emphasis this offseason for the Jaguars, is getting more pass rush, getting more sacks, making it more difficult for quarterbacks to complete passes. And so the Jags, they are doing their homework on a bunch of these edge prospects. And just because they're meeting with this guy, not meeting with another guy, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not interested in players that they're not directly showing interest in by going to their pro day or hosting them on visits. This just means that Derick Hall and the rest of these edge rushers that they've brought in here are players that they want to get to know a little bit more, about these guys as prospects and as people. And so Derick Hall, again, is the most recent report that we're getting, again, from Josh Norris of Underdog, who does a great job over there. He's going to visit the Jaguars. Derick Hall, the edge rusher out of Auburn. Ironically, or maybe not so ironically, the two guys I mocked to the Jaguars at the top of the draft this past Monday, they've now received reported interest from the team. Dalton Kincaid, he had the medical clearance earlier this week, full medical clearance from the doctor sent out to NFL teams. And part of that report was he'd spent a significant amount of time with a bunch of teams, and the Jaguars were one of those teams. And now you've got Derick Hall visiting the team as well. So both of the players I mocked at 24 and 56 now having some reported interest from the Jaguars. Kind of interesting there. But getting into Derick Hall, just recently turned 22 years old in March. Happy belated birthday if you're watching out there, Derick. 146 career tackles at Auburn, 29.5 career tackles for loss, 19.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. Lots of production for the Auburn Tigers, no doubt about it. 6'2 3/4. So at edge, that's a little bit shorter than what you're used to seeing. 254 pounds, a little light. 34.5-inch arms, 10-inch hands. Excellent, amazing proportional length, right? 34.5-inch arms, that's good length for anyone, no matter how tall you are. But being a shorter player with 34.5-inch arms, with 10-inch hands, that proportional length and hand size really comes in handy for Derick Hall. 4.55 40, absolutely blazing on the 40-yard dash. 1.59 10-yard split. First 10 yards of that 40-yard dash, you love to see it. 33.5-inch vert is decent, pretty average overall. 127-inch broad is elite. He also had a really good short shuttle, average 3-cone. So from an athletic perspective, you like what you see, a 93rd percentile athlete, according to Relative Athletic Score by Kentley Platt, Math Bomb over on Twitter. So this is a hell of an athlete. You've got the length box checked for Trent Baalke. You know, this is a drafter, a GM that values length at a premium. You've got the athleticism box checked for Trent Baalke. The question here from a physical profile is, will Trent Baalke and the Jaguars draft a guy at edge who is in the 21st percentile in terms of height and 26th percentile in terms of weight? That's the question. They've obviously got some interest, but curious about that because Trent Baalke usually goes for the get-off-the-bus type prospects. Where would they value Derick Hall in this class given the fact that he is a little bit smaller? And now they have seen success in Jacksonville with lighter edge rushers, right? Arden Key, last year, about 240 pounds. He is a small, slender edge rusher who can kind of move around the formation for you. So Trent Baalke at least has seen it work at a much smaller size in Jacksonville. I think that bodes in Derick Hall's favor. Checking the tape on Derick Hall. Urgent in everything he does. That immediately pops off, right? Every single play, he's given it 100% effort, non-stop motor for Derick Hall. That's the type of player you want to have on your football team. Elite burst off the line to put pressure on opposing tackles immediately, and then at the point of contact, with his natural leverage and length, he's able to get up under tackles. He's able to keep them off of his chest, does that at a really high level. Doesn't look like he has an ounce of fat on him. Very impressive muscle mass and overall body composition for Derick Hall. He has the ability to win on the outside track with speed, length, and bend. He has the ability to win on the inside track. Speed to power with that length is really difficult to deal with. And then he can get inside of you with the quickness, with the swipe. And so he can go around you, through you, or inside of you. He's got the traits to do all of that at the next level. Ideal build and skill set for a 3-4 outside linebacker, in my opinion. That's exactly what the Jaguars need, right? They've got Trayvon Walker. They've got Josh Allen. I think you're going to see Trayvon Walker used a little bit more inside this year, a little bit more with a hand in the dirt. I think maybe Devin Lloyd, as they spoke about at the owners' meetings, could potentially see more edge rush snaps, but I think 3-4 outside linebacker, talking about losing Arden Key, talking about DeJuan Smoot. You don't know what he's going to be able to give you this season if he even returns to Duval coming off the Achilles. He is not under contract. We'll see how that plays out. But Derick Hall, frenetic energy on that football field. His pass rush moves include a long arm, a swipe to rip, a hezzy crossover to get inside. He'll bull rush you as well, uses speed to power at a high level. As a run defender on the edge, he can use his length and strength and natural leverage to get up under and set the edge. He can also use his length and hands and quickness to disengage and shoot into the backfield and make plays on the runner in the backfield pretty easily. When it comes to chasing down quarterbacks, change of direction, all that fun stuff, I think he can easily do that at a high level. Looks reasonably comfortable in coverage, but that's not why you're drafting him. Be honest, that is not why you're drafting Derick Hall out of Auburn. I have a solid 2 on Derick Hall right now. I think you'd like to see more consistency in the pass rush. I think you'd like to see some more moves and counters. And he's not the biggest guy out there, right? On the edge, he is not one of the bigger prospects that you're going to find. There's going to be reps where at 256 pounds, 254 pounds, whatever he is, where he's just not going to be able to hold up one-on-one with one of these behemoth offensive tackles. That's going to happen. But I do think he's going to get the job done in run defense a lot more often than not, even being a smaller prospect. And like I've said, there are just some really exciting traits. If he ends up being one of the best 3-4 outside linebackers from this class, I would not be shocked, would not be surprised at all. If you look back and say, why the heck was he not a first rounder? Why the heck was he not higher on teams' boards? And he could end up going in the first round. I think he has that type of game, that type of skill level, and again, that type of athleticism and traits. He very well could go into the first round. Would the Jags take him at 24? I tend to doubt it, but perhaps in a trade down situation, maybe he falls even to 56 overall, the Jaguars' second round pick. Maybe the Jags get aggressive to go up and get someone like Derick Hall in the second round. They're sitting there at 56. They've got a couple guys on their board at edge that they like. Maybe they move up to go get someone like a Derick Hall. We'll see how it plays out. But I think wherever he goes, you're getting a prospect and a person that you're really going to like. This is a young man, born at 2.5 pounds, extremely premature, wasn't supposed to be able to walk or talk. He was able to overcome all that and become one of the most dominant edge rushers in the SEC, a guy that I think is going to really identify with and resonate with wherever he ends up going, because he's just that type of infectious personality and that type of worker. He's been beating the odds a long time, and I would not bet against Derick Hall, so I would absolutely be in favor of the Jaguars going and getting Derick Hall. Would I see it at 24 as a value? Probably not, but would I bet against him? Also, probably not. I think more likely than not, though, he'll end up being a day 2 pick. I think the Jaguars maybe at 56, again, maybe in a move up to go get him, would make a lot of sense. I think most draft experts do have him second round, maybe third round. I think third round is crazy. I think he should absolutely be a second round pick, maybe even early second round pick, late first round pick type of prospect. That's how good I think Derick Hall is, and I think he's just going to keep getting better as a pass rusher at the next level, and you're going to love the energy that he brings to the football field and to the football team. But that'll do it. Thank you so much for tuning in here, Duval. I'd love to know what y'all think about Derick Hall. Drop a comment in the comment section below if you're on YouTube. If you're on your favorite podcast platform of choice, you can go ahead and leave a review and just let me know in the review what you think about Derick Hall. You can also like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at Jordan DeLugo. You can follow Generation Jaguar at Generation Jag. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, Duval. Have a great rest of your Thursday.